Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest.
Ever wondered how a simple song could trigger an FBI investigation? The 1960s weren't just about peace and love. They were packed with controversial tracks that challenged societal norms and pushed boundaries. Let's dive into the 20 most controversial banned songs of the 1960s. 1. Teenage Tragedy, Tell Laura I Love Her.
Tell Laura I love her.
In the early 1960s, Ray Peterson's seemingly innocent ballad, Tell Laura I Love Her, sparked an unexpected firestorm. This heart-wrenching tale follows Tommy, a love-struck teenager who enters a car race hoping to win enough money for his girlfriend Laura's engagement ring. The story takes a devastating turn when Tommy meets his fate in a fiery crash, leaving behind his final words, Tell Laura I love her. Tell Laura I need her. The song's impact was immediate and polarizing. Parents and radio stations were outraged, claiming it glorified dangerous behavior and exposed young listeners to morbid themes. Despite widespread bans, the track soared to the top of the charts, becoming an anthem of teenage rebellion and raw emotion. The controversy wasn't just about the tragic storyline. It challenged society's comfort zone, forcing adults to confront the changing landscape of pop music storytelling. 2. Love and Controversy, Brown-Eyed Girl. Van Morrison's Brown-Eyed Girl might sound innocent today, but it stirred quite the controversy in its time. Originally titled Brown Skin Girl, the name change was just the beginning of its contentious journey. The line "making love in the green grass" sent conservative broadcasters into a frenzy, leading to the creation of a sanitized version with the lyrics "laughing and running in the green grass." What's particularly fascinating is how the song's original title hinted at interracial relationships, a taboo topic in many parts of 1960s America. Morrison later explained that the track was inspired by an innocent summer romance, but the social climate of the era turned even this feel-good tune into a subject of debate. Despite the controversy, or perhaps because of it, the song's infectious melody and carefree spirit made it an enduring classic. 3. Youth Revolution, My Generation. The Who's My Generation revolutionized rock music with Roger Daltrey's distinctive stuttering delivery. While the band claimed the stutter was an artistic choice reflecting teenage anxiety, the BBC initially banned the song, concerned it might mock those with speech impediments. The defiant lyrics, "Hope I die before I get old," captured the zeitgeist of youth rebellion, and the controversy only fueled its popularity. 4. Eve of Destruction. Similarly, Barry Maguire's Eve of Destruction became a lightning rod for controversy in 1965. This protest song tackled everything from Vietnam to civil rights with pointed lyrics like, "You're old enough to kill, but not for voting." Many American radio stations banned it, labeling it enemy propaganda during the Vietnam War. Despite, or because of, these attempts to silence it, the song reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming a powerful voice for the counterculture movement. The track's success demonstrated how music could transcend mere entertainment to become a vehicle for social commentary and change. It proved that even in the face of widespread censorship, powerful messages couldn't be silenced. 4. Eve of Destruction.
The fears I'm feeling today. If the button is pushed, there's no running away.
Similarly, Barry Maguire's Eve of Destruction became a lightning rod for controversy in 1965. This protest song tackled everything from Vietnam to civil rights with pointed lyrics like, "You're old enough to kill, but not for voting." Many American radio stations banned it, labeling it enemy propaganda during the Vietnam War. Despite, or because of, these attempts to silence it, the song reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming a powerful voice for the counterculture movement. The track's success demonstrated how music could transcend mere entertainment to become a vehicle for social commentary and change. It proved that even in the face of widespread censorship, powerful messages couldn't be silenced. 5. Psychedelic controversy, 8 Miles High. Would you believe a song could be banned simply for sounding too much like a saxophone? The Byrds' groundbreaking track 8 Miles High faced exactly this peculiar situation. Released in 1966, this pioneering piece of psychedelic rock pushed musical boundaries in ways that made broadcasters deeply uncomfortable. The song's innovative sound drew inspiration from two unlikely sources: jazz legend John Coltrane's experimental saxophone techniques and Indian sitar master Ravi Shankar's exotic melodies. Roger McGuinn, the Byrds' lead guitarist, achieved something revolutionary by recreating Coltrane's free jazz saxophone style on his 12-string Rickenbacker guitar. The result? A mesmerizing, droning effect that would influence rock music for decades to come. While the lyrics actually chronicled the band's turbulent flight to London and their experiences in the fog-shrouded city, nicknamed Greytown, radio stations had other ideas. The abstract nature of the lyrics, combined with the song's title, led many broadcasters to conclude it was a thinly veiled reference to drug use. The result? Widespread bans across American radio stations, despite the band's persistent denials of any drug-related messaging. 6. The Beatles' controversial masterpiece.
Fell out of bed, dragged a comb across my head.
Sometimes all it takes is a single line to spark a firestorm. A Day in the Life, the crown jewel of the Beatles' groundbreaking album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, 1967, found itself in hot water over just 5 words. I'd love to turn you on. This masterpiece of experimental rock, with its haunting lyrics and revolutionary orchestral crescendos, pushed the boundaries of what popular music could achieve. However, the BBC wasn't impressed. They interpreted that single line as a dangerous drug reference and promptly banned the song from their airwaves, claiming it could promote a permissive attitude toward drug use. Despite the Beatles' protests that the lyrics were being misinterpreted, the ban remained firmly in place. 7. Nina Simone's powerful protest.
Everybody knows about Mississippi gone down.
In 1964, Nina Simone created what would become one of the most powerful protest songs ever recorded. Mississippi Goddamn wasn't just controversial, it was revolutionary. Written in less than an hour, this raw expression of fury and pain was Simone's direct response to 2 tragic events: the horrific bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church and the assassination of civil rights leader Medgar Evers. The song pulled no punches, with lyrics like, "Alabama's got me so upset, Tennessee made me lose my rest." Simone's unflinching portrayal of racial injustice in America led to widespread bans across southern states. Some radio stations went as far as returning promotional copies of the record broken in half, a symbolic gesture that only emphasized the deep-seated racism the song confronted. Despite, or perhaps because of, these attempts to silence it, Mississippi Goddamn became an anthem of the civil rights movement. It transformed from a banned song into a rallying cry for justice, proving that music could be a powerful weapon in the fight for social change. The track's legacy lives on as a testament to the power of artistic expression in challenging systemic oppression. 8. The Fish Cheer, when a simple chant sparked outrage.
Uncle Sam needs your help again. Got himself in a terrible jam way down yonder in Vietnam.
Can a simple cheer get you banned from television? Country Joe and the Fish learned this lesson the hard way. In 1965, Country Joe McDonald crafted the Fish Cheer I Feel Like I'm Fixin' to Die rag, a biting satirical commentary on the Vietnam War. The song's infectious chorus, 1, 2, 3, what are we fighting for, became an instant counterculture anthem, but it wasn't just the lyrics that stirred controversy. During live performances, the band daringly replaced fish with an expletive in their signature cheer, leading to their infamous ban from The Ed Sullivan Show. The song's provocative lyrics, including "Come on, Generals, let's move fast, your big chance has come at last," resonated deeply with anti-war protesters while infuriating conservative audiences. 9. The Rolling Stones' nocturnal controversy. Imagine a song so scandalous that even its title needed censorship. Let's Spend the Night Together by the Rolling Stones epitomized the cultural clash of the 1960s. Released in 1967, this bold track pushed boundaries with what was then considered explicitly suggestive lyrics. The controversy reached its peak during the Ed Sullivan Show when producers demanded Mick Jagger sing Let's Spend Some Time Together instead. In a moment of passive rebellion that became rock legend, Jagger complied but rolled his eyes dramatically during the performance, making his disdain for censorship crystal clear. The BBC followed suit, banning the track entirely. Ironically, the controversy overshadowed the song's B-side, Ruby Tuesday, which quietly climbed to the top of the charts. 10. The Doors' defiant performance. Sometimes a single word can ignite a firestorm. The Doors discovered this when their hit Light My Fire caught the attention of Ed Sullivan's producers in 1967. The controversial line, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher," set off alarm bells due to its perceived drug references. While Jim Morrison agreed to change the lyrics for the live broadcast, he deliberately sang the original version anyway, resulting in the band's permanent ban from the show. This act of defiance became legendary in rock history, symbolizing the growing tension between artistic expression and mainstream media control. Morrison's rebellion inspired countless musicians to stand their ground against censorship, even at the cost of commercial success. 11. Genderbending controversy. The Kinks' Lola.
Club down in Oso, while you drink champagne, it tastes just like cherry cola.
The Kinks proved that even a chance encounter at a club could spark nationwide controversy. Their 1970 hit Lola pushed social boundaries with its groundbreaking exploration of gender identity. The story of a young man's encounter with a crossdresser challenged traditional gender norms, with Ray Davies singing, "Well, I'm not the world's most masculine man, but I know what I am, and I'm glad I'm a man." Surprisingly, the BBC's initial ban had nothing to do with the song's provocative subject matter. Instead, the mention of Coca-Cola violated their strict anti-advertising policies. The band cleverly circumvented this by re-recording the line with Cherry Cola, proving that sometimes controversy comes from unexpected places. 12. Rebellion against the Crown.
God save the Queen! The fascist regime!
While technically released in 1977, the Sex Pistols' God Save the Queen embodied the rebellious spirit that had been building since the 1960s. With inflammatory lyrics declaring "God save the Queen, she ain't no human being," the punk anthem directly challenged the British establishment. The BBC's immediate ban only fueled its popularity, driving it to number 2 on the UK singles chart during Queen Elizabeth II's Silver Jubilee celebrations. 13. Creedence Clearwater Revival's Misunderstood Anthem. Fortunate Son by Creedence Clearwater. Revival demonstrates how a protest song can transcend its original context. Released in 1969, John Fogerty's powerful critique of class privilege during the Vietnam War era became an unexpected cultural touchstone. The song exposed the stark reality that wealthy, privileged Americans could often avoid military service while working-class youth bore the burden of combat. John Fogerty's masterful composition, Fortunate Son, stands as one of the most powerful critiques of social inequality during the Vietnam War era. As both vocalist and guitarist, Fogerty crafted the song to highlight the stark contrast between privileged elites and working-class Americans forced into combat. The iconic chorus, "It ain't me, I ain't no senator's son," became a rallying cry that perfectly encapsulated this divide. The song's raw energy and honest messaging quickly transformed it into an anthem for the anti-war movement, giving voice to countless Americans who felt powerless against the system. However, like many protest songs of its time, Fortunate Son faced significant backlash. critics misinterpreted its message as anti-American, missing the nuanced critique of class privilege in military service. Fogerty, himself a proud military veteran, has consistently emphasized that the song wasn't an attack on soldiers, but rather a pointed criticism of how wealthy Americans could often dodge the draft while working-class citizens had no choice. This message continues to resonate decades later, with the song appearing in numerous films and political events, though sometimes controversially. The 2014 Concert for Valor performance particularly sparked debate, prompting Fogerty to once again clarify the song's true meaning. 14. The Beatles' Psychedelic Puzzle.
They are the Eggmen.
I Am the Walrus stands as perhaps the most enigmatic creation in the Beatles' extensive catalog. Released in 1967, this psychedelic masterpiece emerged from John Lennon's deliberate attempt to create something that would confound interpretation. Drawing inspiration from Lewis Carroll's The Walrus and The Carpenter, Lennon wove an intricate tapestry of surreal imagery and seemingly nonsensical phrases. The song's production was equally ambitious, featuring a 16-piece orchestra and choir that created an otherworldly soundscape. Lines like "I am the Eggman, they are the Eggmen" became instantly memorable, despite, or perhaps because of, their cryptic nature. However, the BBC took particular issue with the provocative line, "Boy, you've been a naughty girl, you let your knickers down," leading to an airplay ban. The controversy only enhanced the song's mystique, with fans and critics alike spending countless hours attempting to decipher its meaning. The track's complex arrangement and innovative production techniques pushed the boundaries of what was possible in popular music, setting new standards for experimental rock. 15. Lucy's controversial Diamond Sky. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds perfectly exemplifies how innocent inspiration can lead to unexpected controversy. Released as part of the groundbreaking Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album in 1967, the song's dreamlike lyrics painted vivid pictures. Picture yourself in a boat on a river with tangerine trees and marmalade skies. Yet it wasn't the surreal imagery that caused an uproar, but rather the song's initials, LSD. Despite John Lennon's repeated insistence that the title came from a drawing his young son Julian made at school, the BBC remained unconvinced. The song's psychedelic sound and abstract lyrics only fueled speculation about hidden drug references, leading to its ban from British airwaves. The controversy demonstrates how the charged atmosphere of the 1960s could transform even the most innocent artistic expressions into subjects of intense debate. 16. The Rolling Stones' Street Revolution. Street Fighting Man emerged as the Rolling Stones' most politically charged statement of 1968, a year already marked by global unrest and widespread protests. The track's explosive energy and rebellious spirit captured the revolutionary zeitgeist with unflinching accuracy. Mick Jagger's provocative lyrics, "Everywhere I hear the sound of marching, charging feet, boy," resonated deeply with a generation ready for change. The song's release coincided with the tumultuous Democratic National Convention in Chicago, where violent clashes between protesters and police made international headlines. Fearing the track might further inflame tensions, numerous radio stations across America pulled it from their playlists. This attempted censorship only emphasized the song's relevance and power, cementing its status as an anthem of resistance. Street Fighting Man wasn't just another Rolling Stones hit. It became a political lightning rod during America's most turbulent times. Radio stations scrambled to ban it from their playlists, not because of explicit calls to action, but simply because it dared to reflect the revolutionary spirit of the era. Mick Jagger, with his characteristic swagger, expressed genuine surprise at the reaction, emphasizing that they were merely holding up a mirror to society rather than lighting the fuse of rebellion. 17. The Dark Side of Brown Sugar. Sometimes even the biggest hits can't escape their controversial past. The Rolling Stones' Brown Sugar perfectly exemplifies this phenomenon. Released in 1971, this track stormed the charts with its infectious guitar riff and electrifying energy. However, beneath its catchy exterior lay a dark narrative touching on slavery, interracial relationships, and substance abuse. The opening line, "Gold Coast slave ship bound for cotton fields," sets an immediate tone that becomes increasingly problematic under modern scrutiny. The song's complex legacy finally caught up with it in 2021 when the Stones made the watershed decision to remove it from their US tour set lists. Mick Jagger's reflection was particularly poignant. "We've played Brown Sugar every night since 1970, so sometimes you think we'll take that one out for now and see how it goes." 18. Wings misheard controversy. In 1972, Paul McCartney and Wings discovered that sometimes it's not what you say, but what people think you're saying that causes trouble. Their track Hi 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 faced an immediate BBC ban over a fascinating case of misheard lyrics. The broadcasting giant interpreted the title as a drug reference and took particular issue with what they thought was the suggestive line, "Get you ready for my body gun." McCartney later revealed the actual lyrics were, "Get you ready for my polygon," an abstract image far removed from the BBC's salacious interpretation. With a hint of irony, he remarked, "The BBC got some of the words wrong, but I suppose it's a bit of a dirty song, if sex is dirty and naughty." Despite the ban, or perhaps because of it, Hi 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 soared into the top 10 on both sides of the Atlantic. 19. Give Ireland back to the Irish. When Paul McCartney and Wings released Give Ireland Back to the Irish in 1972, they knew they were courting controversy. Written as a direct response to the tragic events of Bloody Sunday in Northern Ireland, the song pulled no punches with its political message. The lyrics, "Great Britain, you are tremendous, and nobody knows like me, but really what are you doing in the land across the sea?" struck a nerve with British authorities. The response was swift and absolute. The BBC and other British media outlets banned the track immediately, yet the censorship only amplified its message. The song topped the Irish charts and reached number 16 in the UK, marking a crucial moment in McCartney's career as he stepped out of the Beatles' shadow to establish his own political voice. 20. The FBI's musical mystery. Perhaps the most bizarre controversy of the era surrounded the Kingsmen's Louie Louie. This seemingly innocent rock standard triggered a full-scale FBI investigation, all because nobody could understand the lyrics. The investigation lasted 2 years and concluded with what might be the most unintentionally humorous finding in federal law enforcement history. The lyrics were unintelligible at any speed. Released in 1963, the song's popularity exploded alongside rumors of hidden obscene messages in its mumbled vocals. Concerned parents and moral guardians demanded action, leading to what must have been the FBI's most unusual assignment, analyzing rock lyrics for potential obscenity. The investigation's conclusion not only cleared the song, but also demonstrated the sometimes absurd lengths authorities would go to control popular music during this transformative decade. Legacy and cultural impact. These controversial songs of the 1960s did more than just entertain. They became defining moments in music history that continue to resonate today. Each track pushed boundaries in its own unique way, whether through provocative lyrics, innovative sound, or powerful social commentary. The censorship attempts often backfired, transforming banned songs into powerful symbols of rebellion and change. What's particularly fascinating is how these controversies shaped modern music culture. The battles fought by artists like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Nina Simone paved the way for future generations of musicians to express themselves more freely. Their courage in facing censorship and criticism established precedents that still protect artistic expression today. Many of these songs have been covered countless times, with each new interpretation adding fresh layers of meaning. From protest anthems to psychedelic masterpieces, they've influenced genres ranging from punk rock to hip-hop. Modern artists frequently cite these controversial tracks as inspiration, proving their enduring relevance in contemporary music. The relationship between music and censorship has evolved significantly since the 1960s, but the fundamental tension remains. Today's streaming platforms and social media have replaced traditional gatekeepers like the BBC and FBI, yet discussions about artistic freedom and social responsibility continue to shape our cultural landscape. These songs remind us that music isn't just entertainment, it's a powerful force for social change and cultural evolution. They stand as testaments to the courage of artists who dared to challenge the status quo, even when facing significant personal and professional risks. Thanks for joining us on this journey through music's most controversial era. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rock history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you in the next one.